So starting a podcast as a solopreneur does not have to be overwhelming. With the right setup, with the right strategy, with the right focus, you can create content that resonates with your audience and grows your business. And I'm telling you, once you start repurposing and all of that, your business is going to take off.
Welcome to the Solopreneurs Chronicles podcast, the show where solopreneurs like you learn how to ignite, ascend, and empower a one-person business that works for you, not the other way around. Each week, your host Anthony Porter will bring you actionable strategies, real-life stories, and expert insights to help you attract clients, create consistent content, and turn your passion into profit. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, this is your go-to resource for making big things happen on your own terms. If you're ready to ditch the overwhelm and build a business that fits your life, hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Let's dive in.
You a solopreneur looking to amplify your voice and grow your business with the podcast. Man, please believe me, every business needs a podcast. Whether you're recording an episode to share your expertise or hosting a multi-guest system to brand authority. Let me think about that. Hosting a multi-guest system for brand authority. Then right here, this setup can make all the difference. Now, I'm going to show you some things. All right. We're going to take you on a journey. I'm going to show you how to create the perfect podcast setup. Whether you're going to be a solo recorder, whether you're going to record in person with guests, or whether you're going to host something remotely. It's time to turn your podcast into your business growth engine. You ready? Let's do it. Now, most people don't understand that being a solopreneur, you do everything. You are the brains, the bronze, the muscle, everything to your business, right? Now, in this particular section right here, section number one, the essentials of a solo podcaster. Let's start with the solopreneur podcaster. What is perfect for solopreneurs who want to share their expertise, tell their story, and connect with their audience on a deeper level? You got a list of things you're going to need, all right? So you ready? Can be budget friendly, but we're going to talk about that. All right, so here we go. Number one, you're going to need a dynamic microphone. Microphones are your best friend. They eliminate the background noise. They focus on your voice. Woo. A great option is the 8 or the Samson Q2U. Trust me. Really, like, my microphone is a USB mic that I'm recording this with, and it sounds great. But these are some great choices, all right? Both are affordable and versatile. Both working with USB, and they are both easy for, the USB connection to your computer, which is a good thing. Now, I'm running mine through my phone right now. A lot of people don't understand that. I am recording through my phone. Loving it. All right, so number two, you're going to need some headphones. Now, if you're on a budget, you just want some headphones that you can be able to hear the feedback in case there is some. So you need a good pair of headphones to monitor your audio levels. And for while you're sitting there and you're making your podcast postings, right? Positionings. Now, number three, you're going to need a recording software. There are a few free options out there. If you're on an iPhone, you have GarageBand. Those who have Android phones, Audacity's one. If you have a budget, Adobe Audition is one. Now, I use Logic Pro X because I'm a Mac guy, or Pro Tools offer more, advanced features. So Logic, Adobe Audition, Pro Tools, those are the upper echelon recording softwares. But like I said, if you want something free, you have a Audacity and GarageBand. For your video now, video podcasting is in demand. Real talk. They are really in demand right now. So here are some options that you could think about for this. Now, if you're talking about adding video to your podcast, is a futuristic idea, a futuristic way to repurpose your content that you are putting on Apple Music, Spotify, Google Music, Amazon Music. These platforms like Instagram and TikTok, hey, that's the way to go. You can use your smartphone, your computer, webcam, upgrade to a DSLR. I just did that. And an external webcam for your higher quality type videos. Trust me, once you start making some money and making some headway, adding these particulars to your podcast, to your video, not only helps you get to the point where you have elevated, but taken over. Okay. Now, again, when you do stuff out here and you are making these headways, you have to be able to say, okay, what do I need to do? When you're in business, your business needs to be on a budget when you start out. But as you start to generate buzz and generate a little bit of income, reinvest back into your business. All right. Now, listen, a pro tip that you need to think about: sync your audio and video by clapping into the microphone. That's how you get started. When I first started, I didn't understand that until I started using software like DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut, and I was off. Now I got to take the extra time because as a solopreneur, I'm sitting here and I'm doing everything. All right. And that's how you make it, it makes everything a little bit more easier for you to go. Now, number 2, if you are doing a multi-purpose podcast, this is something we need to talk about. So multi-purpose podcasting is with guests or co-hosts. Now, most people want to have guests. A lot of people have co-hosts. Either way, there's no wrong way when you're doing multi-purpose. But this is a great way to expand your reach and your network as a solopreneur. You got to learn how to leverage your podcast game. So, again, it's almost just like whether if you could be recording in person or you could be doing this remotely. Here's what you need to know. Again, you have to have those dynamics. You have to have a dynamic microphone for each person. So instead of you having one, let's say you have one person that's a co-host, they need a mic. You got 2, that's 2 mics. So it's 3 altogether. You got another one, that's 4 mics. Now say if you got 4 guests, you need 4 mics. A lot of people don't go over 4 guests, but you could go up to anywhere from 6 to, to make it. I don't know why they would do it, but they do. Now, here's something you got to think about. You're going to need XLR microphones and an audio interface. What is an XLR microphone? Well, the microphone is not a USB microphone. It's where it plugs in. It has 3 prongs, male to female. Okay. It has a way for you to run from the microphone to an audio interface, i.e. right here. Okay. Now, the Scarlett or the Rodecaster Pro is an audio interface that most podcasters use. Now, they can connect multiple mics. Now, the Rodecaster Pro connects 4. The Scarlett 2i2 connects 2 to 4. Okay. I think it's 2. Yeah, it's 4. There are other ones out there, but then you're starting to get up like the Apollo Twin. You're starting to get up a little pricey, man. Like even the Rodecaster Pro is a bit pricey. $400, $600. All right, so this is where these mics can record multiple tracks. You need a headphone, splitter, and an amplifier. So ensure that everyone can monitor the audio by using the splitter and the amp, to correct the, connect the multiple. The amp is to connect the multiple headphones. All right. Number 4, you're going to need a quiet recording space. You don't want to be recording. Now, I take that back because there's a podcast out there, them dudes, and they record outside and they are doing numbers with that, man. Like they downloads is amazing. But their platform is even better because they just say, hey, you want to be on a podcast? What do you want to talk about? And then when they start talking, everything that people have built up in them starts to come out. But you want to minimize the background. If you're inside, you want to control the noise. You want to have good conditions. You want to have good acoustics. You don't want to have a cluttered room with carpet can, really reduce. So a lot of people want to make sure everything is perfect. When I'm recording, it's not about my background. It's about the message, the value that I'm giving. So I have panels, pictures, stuff from my other businesses inside of my room. All right. Now, when you're going to do a remote setup, because this is the next one, platforms like Riverside and Zoom, those are good for you to have. These platforms alone. Riverside is my favorite. I can leave a link down in the comments because we started this new channel. It's hard for us to put links in the description, but Riverside is slowly but surely becoming the go-to for a lot of podcasters, a lot of talking head YouTube makers, content creators, a lot of videos, to where we are at the point where it's, hey, doing a great job. Let's jump into Riverside. That platform right there works good. Excuse me. These platforms right here, you got to have separate audio tracks. Riverside is good with that. That's why when you need to have something that can record multiple tracks. So that's what these audio interfaces, these XLR microphones, that's why it's kind of hard. Listen, don't go above 4. Try not to go above 4. And if you got to, have everybody speaking to 2 mics. And we just go from there, okay? Third, you need a strong internet connection. The one thing you cannot do is be somewhere and your internet connection is bad. So therefore, make sure you got a strong internet connection. And then number 4, have headphones for each person to prevent the bleed, and it keeps the recording clean. Some of the stuff, man, is very important. So write it down. All right. Now, here are some of the best practices in section 3. Here are some of the best practices for multi-purpose podcasting. Recording multiple people can be fun. I've done it. It's hilarious, but I've done it. But it can also be challenging. It has its challenges. Let me tell you a few of those challenges that can cost you with inside of your recording process. You don't want to have overlapping speech. So you want to minimize the overlapping speech. Overlapping conversations can confuse listeners. So I always encourage people, if you're going to be talking, let the person finish. Or if it's a debate, but be courteous with the person. You don't want to be sitting around and talking about somebody. It sounds mumbled up, Have some verbal, non-verbal cues, like, leaning away from the mic and then, throwing your hand signals up, or, doing something that lets them know that, hey, I want to talk next. Okay. Prepare your guests. Share guidelines. To be professional, you share your guidelines. Like I would never send or ask a person to be on a podcast without sending them the questions that I want to ask. And then let them know that there will be some rebuttal questions within inside of that question. And it's just basic. We'll never go into a situation where we're going to backdoor somebody. And so therefore, you just want to make sure that they already know, they're already prepared for when it's time for you to, get what you're going to get done. And then test your equipment. Please test your equipment. It's one thing to have your equipment. It's another thing to show up to your situation and your equipment just doesn't work. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that your equipment is perfectly set up. You want to make sure the volume levels are fine. You want to make sure everything goes off without a hitch. And then last but not least, section 4, we're going to talk about the editing process. Now, for me, I like to use DaVinci Resolve because it's easy for me and it's free. And they're not paying me for this, so I don't want nobody to think that, they're paying me. Once you record your episode, it's time to, polish it up. Just because you record, you got to be able to edit it, add clips, add noise, sound effects, all of that. Use tools like, Audacity or GarageBand to clean up your audio. If you want to advance your features, of course, we talked about it earlier. You have Adobe Audition, Pro Tools. If you're a Mac person, Logic Pro is on your Mac. It's a little pricey, but it's there. All of the other ones are pricey. Now, with Adobe Audition, you can jump in there, and I think because I've used Adobe Audition, you can jump in Adobe Audition and get the Creative Suite and pay like $100 a month. Over time, that's a lot of bread. If you're on a budget, you don't want to be doing all that. Number 2, you want to separate your tracks. Each person each guest, each host, whatever, they need to have their own separate tracks. That way you can monitor their voice. That way you can EQ their voice, add a little compression. This makes it easier to adjust the levels and remove background noise. And you just want to be more professional. Now, number 3, you want to repurpose your content. Repurposing your content is very key. Don't stop at the audio. Now it's time to take those episodes and turn them into video clips. Those clips can be used on your social media posts or even in blog content to maximize your reach. Do you not understand that one episode from a podcast can create 30 to 40 pieces of content over 3 to 4 to 5 platforms? Think about it. Let's say you do one episode. That episode generates 7 to 8 clips, social media clips from 30 to 60 minutes, anywhere in between. 30 to 60 minutes. So you have 8 of them. Do you not know that if you take those 8 and you post them on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, LinkedIn, Twitter. Yeah, those 8 clips, 6 platforms, 48 pieces of content. One episode. You can take and post a clip a day to make your reach. Now, can you imagine if you got more? Yeah, I can. And then hosting your podcast. People who publishing your podcast, you'll need hosting platforms. Free options like Anchor, they're pretty good. They're great for beginners. While Buzzsprout offers advanced analytics and those features, you just got to be able to say, okay, it's a little pricey. It has a price. It's not a little price. It just has a price. So for a small fee, you can start to elevate your podcast experience. Now, I use Red Circle. No, they're not paying me. I'm just throwing it out there because I like Red Circle. Red Circle is easy for me to just upload and schedule out and go to bed. So once the episode is live, share it everywhere. Email your list, social media, your website. Podcasting is not just about the recording. It's about a powerful tool to grow your brand, connect with your audience, build that community, become that authority figure. You are a business. Just because you podcasting, unless you're doing it for fun, then that's it. This is a business right here. This is a business. So starting a podcast as a solopreneur does not have to be overwhelming. With the right setup, with the right strategy, with the right focus, you can create content that resonates with your audience and grows your business. And I'm telling you, once you start repurposing and all of that, your business is going to take off. If you found this video in the least bit helpful, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more solopreneur growth tips. Check us out in the next video for some step-by-step guidance. We might talk about some monetization or some personal growth or some brand awareness. But if you really want to get some of that, jump on over to the Solopreneur Chronicles podcast. We on Apple Music. We on Spotify podcast. Listen, Google. I'm going to leave a link in the comments below. Sign up. Subscribe. Leave a review. Tell a friend. To tell a friend, to tell a friend. Let's grow this community of solopreneurs. Let's get it cracking. Let's build that generational wealth. 2025 is our year. Let's kick it, all right? I'm going to see y'all in the next video, man. Thanks for watching. I'm going to see y'all when I see y'all. Until next time, it's your mans. We out of here. Peace.